All right, in this demonstration, we're going to talk about our density layers. You should have this in your ISN, this worksheet. First thing you want to do is I want you to go ahead and list one physical property about each of these liquids. Use your notes if you have to. So one physical property about Karo syrup, about baby oil, this is water, vegetable oil, honey, and then finally, dish detergent. So go ahead and write one physical property about each one of those. When you're done with that, what I'd like you to do is write a hypothesis, all right? Basically, you're just predicting right now. If I pour these all into this graduated cylinder, which order will they go in? Okay, which one will be the most dense, meaning it's going to be on the bottom, and then all the way up to the least dense, which will be floating on top. Will it be Karo syrup, vegetable oil, water, or I'm sorry, baby oil, vegetable oil, honey, or dish soap? Okay, so where it says hypothesis there, you put them in order from least dense. 1 will mean it's floating on top, down to 6, which means it's sinking to the bottom. It's the most dense, all right? And then we're going to test them. So go ahead and fill that in. You might need to hit pause right now on your video. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and test them. And I'm just going to start with a basic one first. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pour some water in first. So I'm going to pour this water in. That's an easy one right now. Okay, so there's the blue water in there. So now let's take vegetable oil. So I'm going to pour some vegetable oil in, and we'll see where it goes. So I'm going to pour some vegetable oil in right now. Here we go. Okay, vegetable oil's in. Ooh, what are you noticing right now? Where's the vegetable oil? Definitely floating on top of the water. Very cool. Okay, so now let's test, how about Karo syrup? All right, Karo corn syrup used in cooking. Maybe if we can get the lid off. All right, here we go. It's nice and slow as it comes out. Here we go. I'm going to pour just a little bit in and let's see what happens. Oh, nice thick syrup. All right. Okay. Notice where the Karo syrup ended up. Right there, clear at the bottom. You can see the brown right there. So Karo syrup is definitely more dense than water and more dense than the vegetable oil. Okay, let's try baby oil. So let's take some baby oil, see what's going to happen to it. Pour it in. Okay, baby oil's in. Where's baby oil at? Baby oil is right here, sitting on top of the vegetable oil. So baby oil is definitely less dense than vegetable oil, less dense than water, and less dense than our corn syrup. Okay, let's try honey now. Here we go. Put some honey in here. Let's see where it's going to go. Okay, honey's done. Let's take a look at honey. Right there's honey. Honey's the lighter brown. So it's definitely more dense than baby oil, vegetable oil, water, but it's less dense than the vegetable oil because it's sitting right on top of the vegetable oil. There's honey right there. Okay, last one. Let's do our dish soap. Let's see where it goes. All right, we're going to kind of let it settle out here for a second. Notice where it's going. It's sinking. It's sinking all the way down. It's below the vegetable oil. And now it's going down here. You can start to see it. I'll try to get it closer. You can see it streaking down through the water now. So it's definitely more dense than our oils that we put in. And it's definitely going through the water. And it's piling up right there. So it's underwater. So that means it's more dense than water, but less dense than honey. And definitely less dense than the Karo corn syrup. Okay, so there's our liquid layers. Now, over on your column where it says actual, you want to fill in the actual layers. All right, let's see if anybody got them right. So number 1, least dense, would be vegetable oil. Number 2 would have been, least dense was baby oil. Number 1 is baby oil. Number 2 would be vegetable oil. 3 would be water. 4 would be dish soap. 5 is going to be honey. And then finally, 6, our most dense substance here, was Karo syrup. All right? So hopefully some of you got that right. Now, your question 3 says, based on the actual results, which liquid is the densest? So go ahead and fill that in. Which liquid is the least dense? How do you know? Well, you should have said the most dense is Karo syrup. The least dense, you should say, is baby oil. How do you know this? Well, obviously baby oil's floating on top of everybody, so that means it's the least dense, and Karo syrup sank to the bottom, which means it's the most dense. Now, number 4, what you're going to do is predict where each of these solids are going to go. So I have 3 solids here. I have a little baby cork, I have a white marble, and I have a red centimeter cubed. Okay? So what I want you to do right now, under hypothesis, is predict where will they go. Which one will be floating on top, which one will be in the middle, which one will be at the bottom. The one on the bottom would be the most dense, the one at the top is the least dense. And then we'll test it and see, did you get them right or not? Okay, you may need to pause here, because I'm going to actually go on to the experiment. Okay, so here we go. Let's start with the marble. Okay, so I'm going to put the marble in. Let's see where it goes. Ready, set, go. Oh, it went all the way down, and you can kind of see it, and it went clear down into the Karo syrup. So it is definitely at least as dense as the Karo syrup. So it's a pretty dense object. It sank clear to the bottom. So it's definitely got a density greater than the Karo syrup. What about our red cube? Let's go ahead and put that one in. Okay, it went through, definitely going through the oil. Now it's sitting right on top of the water. Okay, it's a 1 centimeter cubed. It's got a volume of 1 gram per centimeter cubed, the same as water. So it should float right there in the blue, right there for water. So it's floating in the blue. Finally, we have our little baby cork. Let's stick the baby cork in. Where's the cork going to go? The cork is floating clear up on top of the oil. So the cork has a density less than that of baby oil, which is why it's floating clear up on top. Okay, hopefully somebody got that right. You'll want to write the actual order. So number 1, you're going to write cork. Number 2, under actual, you would write the red cube. And then number 3, you're going to write marble. Now, here's some short statements comparing the density of the following solids with liquids layers. So 1 centimeter cubed is, you're going to write, just describe it. What is its density compared to that of the other liquids? Well, you can write down all that stuff now. Cork is, compare its density to the other liquids. And then finally, the marble's density. Compare that to the liquids. So go ahead and fill that in. Go ahead and pause, because I'm going to go ahead and give the answers now. All right, so 1 centimeter cubed, you would say, is less or greater than baby oil and vegetable oil, but the same as water. Cork, you would say, is less dense than all the liquids because it floats on top of all of them. It's floating on top of the oil. Finally, the marble, you would say, is the most dense because it sank clear to the bottom and is sitting in the syrup. All right, so it's a great little experiment just to show you that we can determine the density of liquids just by layering them up, and also different objects by putting them in the liquids. We can at least get an idea of what their densities might possibly be without actually knowing what they are. All right, that completes this workstation, or this station for our ISN. All right, we're done. Good job.